Filmed in front of a live studio audience at the Woody Guthrie Center, it's time for the newest episode of Tulsa Little Jam!
Woo! What's happening? What's going on? What? Dudes, I said I was wearing red!
Oh my God!
This is so embarrassing. Oh my God. Sometimes this happens. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But welcome, everybody, to a new edition of Tulsa Little Jam. Take it in. I worked out extra hard so I could put this shirt on. And it was a little difficult. So I want to thank you guys for having an extra shirt for me. It was very nice. Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of Tulsa Little Jam. We're very glad to have you. We're getting close to the end of season 2, so we're very excited. And tonight, especially, you guys are going to get some rock and roll. This is going to just be good rock and roll. I mean, when I first heard this band at Guthrie Green, I just rocked and I rolled. It was amazing. Yes. And these guys are old. They just feel old school, but have like this new, really just like great, just rock and roll song. I've said rock and roll a lot, so I think it's time for me to get to the show. So with that, guys, we are very, very proud to have my new outfit.
Yeah.
And the Golden Ones!
This episode of Tulsa Little Jam is brought to you by... I have to say, I was super excited when I heard you guys. I can't remember who turned me on to you guys.
Probably Eric.
It was Eric Hyman. Eric Hyman was in the season 1 episode. You have a lot to live up to because Eric's interview was amazing.
I love Eric. Everything about him is amazing, so.
I was gonna say that.
Well, I love him more.
He's nice.
That was awkward.
Right, sorry.
But yeah, he mentioned, and he told me to come out there and check it out, and I came out to the Guthrie Green, and I saw Golden Ones, and then it was just like great rock and roll, so I was like excited because I'm a little old school in that way. It's like rock and roll.
Us too.
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
amazing. And so I'm curious about that, though. How is it you get... Well, first of all, give me the quick little rundown of how you formed. Oh, wait, and first of all, we have a big announcement. I present to you Mr. Jesse and Mrs. Sarah Frick.
Locked it down.
1 week married.
1 week. And I think I was bothering you on your honeymoon, wasn't I?
Was it you? A lot of people were bothering me on my honeymoon, and I was like, I will be back next week.
I was bothering her on the
think you did.
honeymoon.
All right, so clearly, if our band is, we're also pretty young, so I want to hear how
Thank
this,
you.
how this,
Thank you.
young and beautiful, all of you, how did this start? Give me the rundown.
Okay, so Jesse and I lived in California together. That's where we met, and we had a band out there. We moved back here. Tulsa's my hometown, so I drug him back with me. And Sean, our guitar player, he and I had played music together since I was like 12, on and off. So we got him on board, and then Jay is married to my best friend. So it's like a little family, and it all just kind of worked out, and yeah.
I went to school in
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma City College with Sean, our guitarist,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but there was something that happened. Like, how did you guys decide, you know what, I think it'd be cool to, hey, do you want to sit in? What happened?
Well, Jesse and I got everything started, and from the get-go, we wanted to do like 70s vibes, like glam rock and roll. And because we feel like that's what we love, that's what we listen to, that's what we grew up on, and we feel like not a lot of people are doing that. And so we started it, and then we had a different guitar player and a different drummer at first, and then we just kind of organically, they kind of went, and we got Sean and Jay on board and took it to the next level. So
They had some songs written, so
yeah.
Sean and I kind of picked up on that, and then from there, some of, 2 of the songs we played tonight were...
Yeah, 2 of the songs we played tonight. Well, actually, all 3 of them.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Yeah, was this lineup.
Golden Ones 2.0.
Yeah.
When you and Sean, Jay, joined the band and stuff, that was pretty much the sort of sensibility you were looking for in music as well, to be a part of?
I had moved back to Tulsa, I don't know, a year or 2 years beforehand, and hadn't been playing in any bands here and needed an outlet. I'd been trying to find people to jam with, but I saw them at the VFW off 6th in Peoria with my wife, Callie, and just approached them and said, hey, if you ever...
Were they drinking or were they playing music?
They were playing music, but I said it
clarify.
was just kind of like, hey, if you ever want to jam on something else, or and then...
Yeah, and it's
Things
pretty
kinda
much as
progressed.
soon as you said that, we were like, yeah.
Yes, you're in. You are in.
We
So
would
just
love
kinda-
that.
I just saw him and was like, this is badass, so I got to jump on board.
Who are some of the major influences for your sound?
For our sound, I would say, just the original straight rock and roll, with a little bit of punk attitude. We all kind of bring a little bit of a different vibe to the table, and it kind of makes it the Golden One sound. But just basically like glam rock.
Who do you like?
Alice Cooper, New York Dolls, Ramones.
Jesse's the punk.
That's what I bring to the
Yeah.
table. Jay, what about yourself?
I like weird music, like sad music and indie music. So
I thought you were gonna say polka.
these guys honestly kind of like inspired me to get more into the genre that we're playing. So that was kind of cool.
Was it a weird transition for you? Or did you-
Super weird, because I'm used to playing, I had no in-ears with this band or anything. We practiced enough, so it's comfortable. But I'm used to very strict, like, click tracks.
Right.
I usually use, like, a sample pad and stuff, too. So it was definitely a change, but it's been super awesome. Yeah.
So when you were in California, what was it that drew you back from California?
Well, I had been there a couple years, and I mean, I was pretty much just ready to come home. I went out there to play music, and I really missed the Tulsa music scene, honestly, because it's just so rich and has so many amazing musicians. And yeah, I mean, I was working like 50 hours a week, and I lived like 10 minutes from the beach, but I never went. Yeah. So I was like, Jesse, let's move to Tulsa. We'll have a house with a yard, no roommates.
And we'll still never get to go to the beach.
Yeah, no. We probably go to the beach more now that we don't live there. Like, we can afford to travel living here, and Tulsa is just, it's growing every day. So I think it's an exciting place to live.
Yeah, and about that, so the Tulsa music scene, Jesse, coming from Cali, what were you when she was like, we're going back, did you have any idea what you're getting into? Or?
I said, no way. Put my foot down, and here I am now.
Jesse, everybody.
No, I was excited. I had been to Tulsa one time before. Sarah actually put on this Tulsa Psych Fest. It was in 2014, and she hit up my band because we had known her from...
We had met on tour.
Yeah, previously. And so we drove all the way out here from California, just overnight, one straight shot. It was like 24 hours. Played a show for the weekend, drove back. I'm never coming back to Tulsa. Then she moved back out there, and then...
Those guys were also all of the groomsmen this weekend, so like that's how I knew they were really good friends. They drove 24 hours just to play this little festival I put on. So
it was fun, and I mean, I love the Tulsa music scene. I love Tulsa living here now. It's just such a place you can make a home. It feels like home. I've had many homes growing up, but I can definitely say Tulsa's my home.
Yeah, I mean, when I started coming back from New York, I was a little bit like,
It's different.
But then as I started spending more and more time here and I got more involved, I was blown away. And it's like once you get like that one in and stuff, there's an in for everybody. There's an in for music, there's an in for sculpting, there's an in for painting, there's an in for so many things, there's an in for tech. And I think that's one of the amazing things, because we talk about on the show how the music scene is just exploding, and I think the world is starting to take some notice, but it's got everything.
yeah, it really does. I love it.
We like to be considered to be at the front of the rock and roll, just straight rock and roll here in Tulsa as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think of all the music that I've heard, the rock and roll that I've been able to, it's you guys, it's Brothers Moore. Those are like two of the just the good rock and roll stuff. Theirs is a little
Definitely
more modern than yours, I think, but yours is still just like you guys take me back.
Yeah, that's the
Good.
point.
And I'm 27.
It's the roots.
Me too.
This episode of Tulsa Little Jam is brought to you by...
We're called Golden Ones, and we're going to play a couple more rock and roll songs for you. I'm just looking for some
This episode of Tulsa Little Jam is brought to you by...
How long have you guys officially been together?
Dog years or human?
September 2017, so it'll be 2 years in September.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you guys have been, hear about you guys all the time, but I am curious because you asked, as far as the venues goes, World or Tulsa, where would be an iconic place for you in Tulsa?
In Tulsa, I mean, I feel like we already kind of...
Yeah, Canes.
Canes. I mean, we played Canes last May. We did the Oklahoma Grown showcase there, and so that's bucket list right there. But I mean, I guess Brady would be awesome.
Yeah.
Brady
Cool
would
to
be
play
really...
BOK opening up for somebody.
Yeah.
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 So if anybody can hook us up with that,
Internet, let's go.
Brady Theater, BOK Center.
and then the Guthrie Green's just
Wembley
always
Stadium.
a fun place to play.
Wembley
It's the only 3 places we'll play, actually. I cancel that statement. I
We've
said
played
earlier.
everywhere else.
Yeah, that was
We did.
cool.
That's a
Yeah.
big fact. How did you
Yeah.
not share that?
That might
I
be the
thought that you
biggest
knew
crowd
this.
we've played. I don't know.
I have been accused of not, so let me explain to you something, because I got mocked for not doing tons of research. I do very blanket research because I like to discover things organically. I like to be as surprised as the audience sometimes. So I knew your name were the Golden Ones. I thought you were just cellists, but I accepted it anyway because it was good. No, no, I didn't know that
sounds
you played
great.
with the
That sounds
Smithereens.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was the night before Jesse and I's wedding. And Eric Hyman actually asked us to play, and we were like, oh, God, we can't turn that down, but it's the night before our wedding. Let's do it. So,
Anytime, anywhere, like I said.
yeah.
He wasn't lying.
The day of the wedding, I mean, we'll play whenever. Yeah, that was cool.
Did you get any feedback from them at all?
No, well, they followed us on Twitter.
The one guy said, "Nice set."
That's-
In this
one guy
day and
said
age, in this
Yeah.
day and age, they follow you on
Do
Twitter.
they tweet, though?
You've arrived. You've arrived at Wembley.
I didn't-
If Smithereens are following you on Twitter.
Yeah, it was really cool. We didn't get to hang around as long as we wanted to because we literally had our rehearsal dinner right after the show. And so that was the downfall of playing. We were like, oh, we want to stick around, but we had all these people in town that had flown in from all over the country, like, ready for the rehearsal.
See, I would have been like, hey guys, you want to play our wedding?
Oh, I was like, we should get Dennis Quaid to officiate our wedding.
All right.
But-
Yes, because he was just here.
I think you would have been too hungover.
Yeah, he played after the
See, I have to
Smithereens.
cut that from the show. How dare you mock Dennis Quaid? His brother, sure.
Sorry, Dennis.
Whoops.
All right, so what's next? I mean, I know we got some of the tour dates that you guys got going on, but we'll talk about albums. What do you want to see in the future?
EP just released a couple months ago, so
Yeah.
full-length album is definitely the next on the horizon.
We've
Just gotta get
talked-
that going.
Yeah, we've talked about doing a concept album because no one really does that anymore either.
They really don't. Yeah, very rare.
That's something that we would really like to do, so that might happen. And then we're going to do a music video soon of one of the songs you heard tonight. So, yeah, and then after that, we're hoping maybe next summer to get out on the road a little bit. So,
Well, I think I see seriously bright things because that was like good rock. I mean, honestly, it reminded me. Chelsea, do you think it was like we hear that kind of good rock in New York? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
That stuff would be. Sorry, that's my sister-in-law.
hi.
Hi, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Everyone say hi to my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law. They're here too.
Hello,
It's not just your mom's birthday. There's a lot of special things in the audience. But yeah, no, for real though. For as far as sound goes,
Thank you.
it's hard, awesome words.
Thank you very much.
Pick whatever word you want out of my brain, and it's for you.
This episode of Tulsa Little Jam is brought to you by... This episode of Tulsa Little Jam is brought to you by...
Audience questions.
One at a time, please.
Oh my gosh.
Can we get the... Oh, shoot. Were we ready with the mic? Donna's on the mic.
Hi, thank you for that amazing, powerful set. We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk about your creative process. How does an idea become a song, and how do those songs become a set?
Well, we're pretty lucky because we are all songwriters, and so it's usually Sean, our guitar player, Jesse, or I will bring a riff or a chord progression, something to the table. Music always comes first, and then lyrics. I might have lyrics stockpiled, but they always come second, because I like to write my melodies over whatever that riff or chord progression may be. And then we bring that to the table, and then the other three of us will, put in our 2 cents. Jay's great about writing all his own parts. We don't have to tell him anything. He just picks up on whatever we're doing.
Usually just start playing whatever
Yeah.
idea you have, and it just kind of starts coming together.
And the song just kind of evolves from there. Like one of the songs we played, the second song we played tonight was a Call to Arms, but I came up with the first riff by myself, and I had this whole idea for a song. It's gonna be just straightforward rock and roll, and then Sean and Jay start playing this kind of different,
to
kind
a
of
whole
funky,
new place.
different level. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's
So
totally
the-
different,
the
but
dance beat was not expected or whatever.
It just kind of evolves, and that's why it's we all bring our own element to the table, and it makes it unique, which I really love.
Yeah.
Kind of fits. It all fits. Just like you guys all came together. Just all fits.
It's nice
Yeah.
to hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another question. I gave you time to think of questions, guys. I warned you in everything.
Man.
Where'd you go to your honeymoon?
We went to Colorado. We really like to hike, and I had never been, and so we went to Rocky Mountain National Park. And yeah, did a 9-mile hike the first day, and then we're pretty miserable the next day.
Thailand's next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the next wedding, honeymoon, but our next trip. Our next trip.
Yeah. Next wedding.
You could just renew your vows there. Why not?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to go to Southeast Asia at one point.
Puerto Rico's good too.
Oh, I've heard really
Sounds
good
awesome. Yes.
things. Yes. We want to go everywhere, so.
All right. How about the music question?
I'm curious. Amazing vocals, really
Thank you.
fantastic vocals. I think I speak for everyone when I say that. When I was trying to figure out who you sound like, because everyone always does that. Everyone tries to figure out who someone sounds like, and I was kind of going through like most guys with the women in rock, but I wasn't really finding any hits. I was more thinking of a lot of the men in rock. Who do you think you sound like? If you had to describe like through others, like what are your influences, or who do you feel like you kind of sound like in terms of a rocker?
I won't say who I think I sound like because I'll try to stay modest. But my biggest vocal influences, Mama Cass, Grace Slick, Linda Ronstadt, Joan Jett, Pat
Joan Jett,
Benatar, Debbie Harry. I mean, really just all those amazing, iconic rock women of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. My dad's a guitar player, and he raised me on all of that. So, but also like Robert Plant, Alice Cooper. Yeah, I mean the list goes on, but yeah.
You named 2 that I just worked with not that long ago.
I know. I'm very jealous.
Any other questions?
Is there a venue that you guys are like dying to play that if you played it, you feel like you made it?
In Tulsa or just anywhere?
Anywhere.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, if someone offered us a show, literally anywhere, we would take it.
Sounds like an offer.
When's your bar mitzvah?
But
how about
You know a lot of people are going to watch this, right?
Wembley?
that's fine. Yeah.
Wembley Stadium for sure. I also finally just saw Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was like, yes, I want to play Wembley. But growing up, seeing the live DVD of Muse at Wembley Stadium was
a good one for me.
yeah. So that's bucket list for sure. But
Anywhere overseas would be like, oh my gosh, we made it.
people got to start listening to rock and roll again for that
Take it
to
to
happen.
Japan, Tokyo. We'd be huge there.
Yeah.
Because Germany's taken. Does anyone get that joke? No, come on. Sometimes my jokes are obscure. David Hasselhoff. He's huge in Germany.
Germany.
Don't
I
give me
thought
the
this was a
sympathy
personal
laugh. Let's hear it again, guys, for Golden One.
Thank you.